Hello everyone, welcome to the experience. My name is Flamino, and today I'm going to show you how far I can go, what I can achieve with 200,000 followers on Instagram. If you're a cool person who's willing to support my work, just give a like here on my video. That alone will help my work a lot. And if you comment Pukarontas, it'll help even more. So let's go. I decided to see what the limit is of what I can achieve, what I can get, or what I can charge for it, to see what I can get with 200,000 followers on Instagram. How far is it possible to go? Is it everything? So I dedicated myself to getting in touch with brands of products or services that I'm really interested in, things I use a lot, to see if I could get them just because of my number of followers. Whether it's as a question, a barter, an exchange, or even getting paid to receive it. First of all, there's no fixed price for what I charge to promote something on my social media. In fact, in some situations I don't even charge. In some cases I don't charge because I actually don't agree to promote it. It's not like that. Anything that comes up for me to promote, I just go and say, okay, this is the price, I'll promote whatever you want. That's not how it works. But getting back to the subject, I started reaching out to things that interested me, to see if I could get something. Throwing it out there, using my follower count as leverage, and I started looking for restaurants. I wanted to eat for free a lot, Not just for free, but also getting paid. My past self would look at me today and say, man, you're really bold, huh? You go to the place, you want to eat the food they made, and they're going to pay you. You're really bold, you need to get a grip. And why did I decide to start with restaurants? My second to last video here on the channel was about fasting. Going several days without eating. There I spent a lot of time looking at restaurants on Instagram, because I was starving during all the days I went without eating. Then I said, I'm going to talk to these restaurants because I want to go there. And if I keep going to all these places I want to, which many of them were really expensive, I'm going to go broke, right? So let me try to make a trade. And that's how this experience started. I thought, why just restaurants? Why not the rest of the things? And then I got a really positive result. Both from restaurants and coffee shops. Now I'm doing reviews. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see many posts of me reviewing them. And I thought, man, why not do it with other things? And that's how this experience started. I said, okay, let's see how far I can get. What I can get with 200,000 followers. Another thing I dedicated myself to achieving as well, and this one was a little bit harder. It was inns, hotels, all those top places we see on Instagram. They're always filmed with a drone, flying around that amazing house. With the hot tub in the mountains, I kept thinking, what an amazing experience. Why am I not somewhere like that? It took a while, since most of these places don't even check their DMs. Then I keep thinking, why do they even have Instagram if they don't check their DMs? What if it was someone wanting to hire their service? I want to stay there. Renting it for a month would be 65,000 rees. They would see me, but they don't check their DMs. It took a little while, but I managed. I got a positive response. It's already scheduled for me to go there. I'm actually going there to have an experience. I won't give any spoilers here. But the place will be included in this experience about clothes. Since I know a lot of people are curious, I kind of already have a supplier for most of my clothes, right? Which is Insider. A while ago, I even made a video here for the channel where I became a minimalist. I stopped wearing clothes with prints. I used to wear a lot of clothes with prints, really a lot. But what was I still missing? Sneakers, shoes. Insider doesn't have shoes. And there's a sneaker brand that I really like. It's my favorite brand. I said, man, I'm gonna get in touch with them. The brand is called OWS. I even have 2 pairs here, look. Here, look, I have these 2 models. Let me show you up close. They're a bit worn out, but I think you can get the idea.
Right, what they look like. Nice, isn't it?
So I said, okay, I'll get in touch with OWS. Maybe it'll work out, right? I got in touch with OWS. They responded positively. Man, I was like this, with my wardrobe. That's such a flex, right? Full of OWS. Just imagine it like this. 5,000 rees of OWS in my closet. Already getting into this sneaker thing, right? When I went to buy these sneakers, I like skate shoes. I think the style is really nice. That's how I ended up discovering this OWS. And I said, wow, skater sneakers, skateboarding, trying out skateboarding. Since so many people asked me in my rollerblading video, why not, right? And then I said, man, so let's try to get in touch with a skateboarding brand. And there I was, walking on Augusta. And I walked past a skate shop. The funny thing was that as soon as I walked into that skate shop, I asked the guy who was at the counter, hi, I'd like to talk to someone from marketing here. Do you have a contact you could give me? Then he said, hey, why? Are you going to do a 30-day skateboarding challenge? The guy already figured it out. I said, wow, man, I'm going to get famous if it keeps going like this. And now I'm waiting for their response. But they said the answer will probably be positive, that they'll let me skate there to do this challenge. And they themselves would be willing to teach me, since they're athletes from the store. I have no idea how much it costs to get a top quality skateboard. No idea. But skates are pretty expensive. Speaking of skates, right? That's from my buddies there. I have a partnership with Inline Store. And man, skates are like that. Good skates are expensive. The two skates that I have. One is for street and one is for urban slalom. If you add them together, it should be around 6,000 Ries. It's very expensive. Well, besides Inline Store, I also have a few others, right, that are worth mentioning. I already have some regular partners. For example, Plant Lab, which is a very good plant-based protein brand. So far, it's the best one I've tried. This isn't even an ad, guys. It's just that I used to talk about some plant-based proteins that I would find in the market. Because it's a bit hard to find good vegan protein. Yeah, when I wasn't vegan, it was really easy to find tasty whey protein. After I became vegan, there was always a kind of gritty texture. It's creamier, that's the difference. I've done sponsored posts for Plant Lab here, they deserve it. Let's quickly review what I've achieved thanks to my follower count. These are my regular partners nowadays. Yeah, A Foods. Yeah, A Foods is a liquid meal brand. I did an experiment here on the channel. I'll leave the card here. 7 days living on liquid meals, and I didn't want to lose muscle mass or anything, so I ended up finding A Foods, right, which was a super high protein liquid meal and all that. So I added it to that experiment, and I still use it a lot nowadays, because sometimes I don't have time to prepare a meal exactly the way I want, healthy and all, so I take A Foods and it's super healthy. It's packed with protein. Man, it really helps me out. This thing is awesome. I also take parkour classes with the professionals, in my opinion. The best professionals in Brazil. Here in Liberdade in São Paulo, there's kind of a parkour school, and the place is all set up for you to train and learn step by step. The teachers are really good. Actually, Douglas really liked parkour. I made a parkour video here and I fell in love with the sport. And I started organizing big meetups. Gatherings, I already created the first big parkour meetup. And it was really cool. We got together here in a park called Centro de Esportes Radicais in the northeast. I'm organizing parkour meetups. Still there at the Centro de Esportes Radicais, which is in Bom Retiro. It's free. You can just show up and there will be a professional to guide you. You don't need to be good. You don't need to have any experience with parkour. Teachers will be there to guide you as you take your first steps. To really grow, taking advantage of this parkour community in Brazil, if you want to learn parkour, it's going to be really cool. I'll be there too. The top guys in Brazil will be there too, teaching. They'll be teaching and showing what they can do. It's really cool. Show up. Well, another thing that the number of followers allows me is to meet people I like from the internet. For example, I've already met Winderson at a YouTube party. Also Cielo, Cocielo. I've already recorded with several of these people I like, right? I've also met Lucas Inutilista, whose content I really enjoy. I still need to meet Mike Conquister. Mike Conquister is harder to reach, likely because he's from the south and I never see him at events. One day I'll meet Mike Conquister. Wait, Mike Conquister, wait. Okay, now let's talk about the things I didn't get positive feedback on, right? Because not everything is perfect. Let's mention now the things I didn't achieve. Gyms, supermarkets, car rental agencies, food delivery apps, travel and exchange agencies, transportation apps, cell phone companies, peripherals, parishes, computer decoration, home decoration, and cameras. With none of these companies did I get positive feedback. There's something I'm also trying to achieve, which is really hard to get: partners. I want to create an event where I'm going to recreate Nirvana's MTV Unplugged in a theater. With the stage exactly the same, with the same instruments, I'm going to sing and play the same set list in the same order. That's how it's going to be. The biggest replica. I intend to make the biggest and best recreation of Nirvana's MTV Unplugged in the world. And to do this, I need a lot of partners, and I'm also not managing to get them. As for the theater and lighting, I even have those, right? My sister is in theater and said she'll handle the lighting and set design for me. Yeah, I need instruments. I might be able to get the instruments. With a brand or something? Yeah, what's making it really difficult is the recording crew. I went to get a quote. I am willing to spend a lot of money on this event. I'm not even trying to make a profit from it. But the recording crew, to make it exactly like it was on MTV Unplugged, charged me 86,000 reais. I'm not saying it's not worth the price. Yeah, I understand it's a very expensive service and you need very expensive equipment. So it makes sense for the price to be that high, you know? Well, that's it. I saw that you can get a lot of things with 200,000 followers, but some things are still kind of out of reach for me. Even having 200,000 on Instagram and almost 1 million here on YouTube and almost 1 million on TikTok too. There are some things I just can't do. At least for me, I don't know. Maybe I'm just bad at networking. Well, that's it for the video. If you like this video, leave a like to support my work. If you have any questions about working with the internet, you can leave them here and I'll try to help. And until the next experience. Wow, that's true. I got in touch with a fetish house to have an experience here for the channel, to show what a fetish house is like, right? To have my first experience. I've never been to one, right? And they agreed. They said, there will be some conditions, right? You can't film anyone's face inside here. So here's what we'll do. We'll open the house for you and put on the performances for you. That way, there's no risk of you filming anyone who's inside, because it's extremely confidential and all that. There will likely be a video of me visiting that fetish house, seeing the performances and what happens there. I don't even know the details. I just hope I don't get beaten up. Imagine how great that would be. 30 days living at Michael Kister's house, sleeping with Michael Kister. Then, of course, he would have to give up his wife's spot in the bed for me, right? So I could sleep with him. And that's a lie, okay? That experience isn't going to happen.